Gatorade presents the Twin 125s, and indeed, let's look at this first starting order. On the pole, it's Kyle Petty, and alongside the two-time 500 winner, Bill Elliott. In row 2, it's Ken Schrader, who's twice won in these 125 milers, and Rick Mast. For row 3 today, Bobby Hillin Jr. and the sensational rookie Jeff Gordon. In row 4, Ted Musgrave and defending Daytona 500 champion Davey Allison. In row 5, it's Derek Cope, the 1990 winner, and Joe Ruttman. For row 6 today, Harry Gant is there and Mark Martin. In row 7, there you have Dave Marcus, who won one of these 125 milers years ago, and driving Richard Petty's number 44, Rick Wilson. In row 8, it's Bobby Hamilton and Lake Speed. For row 9 today, Terry Labonte, who ran the fastest 125-mile qualifier in 1989 at 189 miles an hour, and Dick Trickle. In row 10, it's Chad Little and Jimmy Horton. For row 11 today, Bobby Labonte and Rich Bickle Jr. Row 12 will be Stan Smith and Dorsey Schrader. Rounding out the field, it's Steve Kinser from the World of Outlaws, and Del McCoward starts shotgun in car 0.
Pole setter, no matter what happens in this race, and he wants to get out in one piece, and like Ned said, he's kind of trapped in there.
Spin in turn 1.
Trouble in turn number 1 is going to take out 2 cars. That's Stan Smith.
Steve Kinser.
Car looping, and Kinser. Stan Smith in the Buckdoll, number 73, takes the nose off and fires, spewing out of the front of that car. Here's the Kinser car, number 31, badly damaged. They race back to the line, and everybody's clambering out of Chevy number 31, Bloomington, Indiana, Steve Kinser, after his car broke loose down here on the bottom of turn number 1. Let's look at it, Ned.
Well, going in, he's near the rear of the blue car. You can see following traffic in there, and then all of a sudden it goes down. His left wheels gets on the flat. The back end breaks loose, shoots right up in front of Stanley Smith, and crash. They go into the wall.
From another angle, Neil.
Let's take a look right here. Let's look at the blue car, the 31 car right here, as they're entering the first turn. Let's take a look, see what happens again. They're going off down in the corner. Let's see if we can stop it right here. If you look, just like Ned said, right here we've got the wheels down right on the line. This area right here is below this white line. Let's roll it a little bit more. We'll see the rear end start coming down. He actually drove the car down on the flat, and then it's going to go straight back up the track right into the 73 car. Nowhere to go. Just got on the flat and shot up the track on him.
End of the road to the 500 for Stan Smith and for Kinser. We'll be back with more. And that 21-year-old stays right there in third spot, Jeff Gordon out of Indiana.
I think he runs so good as a rookie. He's such a good little driver, you forget that he's a rookie. Here's Jeff Gordon mixing up with the best in the sport. I mean, he holds his own with them.
Rick Hendrick says of this kid at number 24, this is my franchise.
I think it's like you say, I think we're going to see these guys just be willing to run some of these miles down. They can't afford to take a lot of chances. They want to see what these cars will do. There's Gordon jumping to the inside.
Fords have 5 of the top 6 spots at the moment, and there goes Gordon shooting down the inside.
Good move.
Right into second spot. Right on the
right up there. Knew he had room in front of Rick Mast to get back in. Very smart move.
Can you imagine what it feels like this young man to take the lead in this race? Here he is, his first chance to go Winston Cup racing with seeing the caliber of this, and now he's up here fixing to have a chance to lead the race.
5'6", about 145 pounds, an all-racer.
Now look back here, about 8th or 9th, 10th place where Kyle Petty and Davey Allison and that group are. Ooh, Mark Martin.
Again, when Jeff Gordon dropped to the inside, that was against their game plan. Ray Evernham told him, you're to ride for 122.5 miles. Get in position and ride. Then the last lap is all yours. He wasn't waiting on it.
Well, I guess he wants to ride in second instead of third. Maybe he feels he'll have a better shot on the last lap if he can stay in that position. There might be some others have something to say about that before this race is over, though.
I tell you, it's hard to tell somebody when they got a car that good not to race.
After 19 of 50 laps, it's Elliott, Gordon, and Kyle Petty fighting for the lead here at Daytona. Here comes Gordon, the 21-year-old, closing up on the two-time master of the 500, Bill Elliott. Jeff Gordon down to the inside, looking for daylight.
He knows Kyle Petty will come with him, which 2 cars working together in a draft can run faster than 1 car by itself. So he'll just wait for the right place.
They better give him a call from those pits again, because I believe he's getting pretty antsy. He's not liking that following part.
Neil, you won 125 miler on 2 occasions. How's it feel to sit out there looking for that hole waiting? You won one of these races over Richard Petty on the very last lap when you shot him down. What's it like to have to hold that bridle and whoa this thing a little?
Sometimes you know you got a thoroughbred sitting under you, and it's hard not to pull out the whip and pop him and make him go. When you got a good race car, the thing to do is go, not ride.
Last time a driver won 125 in his first start. You go way back on that one, Ned. Johnny Rutherford did it in '63. He was here 8 times in the 500, Johnny Rutherford, but it was 30 years ago, and that's the mark that Jeff Gordon is shooting at right now. Here he comes. Gordon to the inside, Elliott on the outside, Kyle Petty deployed third. First turn is where the action is.
He just couldn't stand it any longer. He figured his car was a little bit faster than Elliott, decided it's time to make the move, and look at him go.
Let's see if they move over and pick Schrader up. They dumped Schrader for the 11 car. We were talking Ford Chevrolet. They got by him, and they dumped Schrader to the inside. I thought they might pull back and pick him up.
Yep, he's down there with no one to help him. Of course, Kyle Petty would like for he and any other car to pull away. That reduces his chances of getting involved in trouble, in any kind of trouble.
Schrader down on the inside underneath Musgrave. That fight for fourth.
Yeah, he really got hung down there, as Neil said. His GM partners just simply didn't hang down there with him long enough to let him get by Elliott. And you see where he's going to the back.
And he's not through going to the back. He got outside again and lost another position. So Schrader got kicked back a good little bit on that move.
Ken, they might have given Jeff Gordon permission to go ahead. They had the stopwatches on these cars. They figured he could lead faster than Bill Elliott was leading. That might be right also, because they begin to pull away just a little bit from these other cars back here.
And I can't help but think, here they're training this young man to go racing. You can train to follow. I'm so sure you learn a lot back there, but he'll learn an awful lot and build his confidence up leading this race.
We'll return to the Twin 125s after this message and a word from your local station. Back and forth is Schrader.
Boy, look how close Elliott is running on Jeff Gordon. That's the way you need to draft. Get as close up there as you possibly can and push him down the straightaway.
6 laps to go. Here's Mike Joy.
Ray Evernham is Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Whatever happened to that find a spot and ride strategy?
Well, he found a spot, and it seems like he's riding in it.
What's the risk-reward ratio of getting to victory lane?
We just want to finish. You know, he's trying real hard to win. We're going to do the best we can.
And so now we are down to it to decide this first 125-miler. 21-year-old Jeff Gordon in front, the 2-time 500-mile champion right there. Elliott in second as they come back down.
Something that might enter into the way this thing plays out is earlier in the race, Kyle Petty had to understanding with Elliott that they would work together. Elliott went the other way. Let's see what happens now.
Final lap. Last time around this 2.5-mile track. Gordon first, Elliott second, Kyle Petty third, Schrader, Chevy back there in fourth, Bobby Helen lies fifth.
Looks like Bill's getting him a little bit of running room to see if he can reel him in or not.
Yeah, he backed up. Does he need any help from Kyle Petty? Will Kyle Petty give him any help? Here he comes. He looks at the outside. Now he comes down, looks at the inside. No place to go in either way.
Kyle looks in time. About 20 seconds to pay dirt.
And Elliott closed the door on Kyle going into the turn. He went down and took that bottom groove. Jeff Gordon's going to win this race, fellas.
Out of 4, here they come, rolling to the line. And the rookie from Indiana, it's Gordon across in first. The 2-time 500 winner, Elliott in second, Kyle Petty in third. How about that one?
I tell you, just a few years ago, they said, well, how are they going to replace the Pettys and Pearsons? It looks like out of the cradle to me.
We'll be back to make this real, baby. So the 15 finalists from the first 125-mile qualifier, won by Jeff Gordon. Further back in the field, Davey Allison 6th, Speed 7th, Wilson 8th, Chad Little, Terry Labonte making it, as well as Dick Trickle, Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, Bobby Hamilton, and Jimmy Horton. Look again at history in the making as we come down for the youngest winner in 125-mile qualifying history, Jeff Gordon.
The man learned quickly. He kept his car right down on the bottom of the racetrack in the perfect groove around here. They had no chance of making any kind of a pass as they came off of turn 4.
Looks like he was the only guy that knew how good that car was. He didn't want to follow anyone.
He'll start third in the 500. Jeff Gordon of Pittsboro, Indiana. Let's join him now in victory lane with Chris Economack.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, I hear you were lost.
I sure was. Man, this was the last thing was ever on my mind. We had a real strong car. These guys, this DuPont crew, they worked real hard. And it's paid off for them.
You need to direct us to victory lane, right?
Yeah, I had no idea how to get here. I just followed all the NASCAR officials, but I'm sure I was going to find my way.
Did you know who you beat, Jeff, in this business?
Well, you know, I mean, these are the best. This is everything I've ever worked for to get to this point. And I didn't ever expect to do this early. And we've got a real strong team. I can't say enough for Hendrick Motorsports, DuPont, and their engines, Valvoline, everybody. This is great.
What about Sunday's 500? Are you ready to win that?
Well, I wasn't ready to win this one, but we did. So you never know. Anything can happen, but we've got an awful good car, and we know that.
Good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
And now to my colleague, Mike Joy. The Daytona 500 is looking for a few good men. Men like Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator in the black car, who's never won the big race here in 14 tries. The Daytona 500 is looking for a few good sons, like third-generation speedster Kyle Petty, the pole sitter. The king is gone, but he's not forgotten. Another racing son is in the front row today, Dale Jarrett, fleet son of former champion Ned, enlisted by car owner and three-time Super Bowl winning coach Joe Gibbs. A few good men in a few fine machines, looking to see who's best.
Ladies and gentlemen, the starting order for the 1993 Daytona 500. Celebrating his first pole at Daytona, Kyle Petty, and alongside another second-generation driver, Dale Jarrett. In row 2, 21-year-old Jeff Gordon. Most kids at 13 are pinball wizards. At 13, he was a national racing champion. And this past Thursday, in the 125-mile qualifying races here at Daytona, he flew to victory, youngest ever to win. Starts third today, alongside, in his 15th 500, Dale Earnhardt. Row 3, two-time 500-mile champion Bill Elliott, and the 86 winner, Jeff Bodine. In row 4 is Ken Schrader, who nearly won it in '89, and Ernie Irvan. Back in high school, he was a tennis star. Still plays a mean game of racquetball, rolls over the competition, even if it's his own son. Brand new dad Bobby Hillen starts 9th, and defending Winston Cup champion Alan Kulwicki alongside. For row 6, it's Davey Allison, the defending Daytona champion. 1992 had some of his greatest moments and some of his worst. Ricky Rudd will start 12th. He'll ride anything that goes fast, but he has just as much enjoyment out with a personal friend right here as performing in front of 100,000 today here at Daytona. Ricky Rudd. For row 7, it's Mississippi's Lake Speed and Sterling Marlin from Tennessee. Row 8, driving the Richard Petty colors, Rick Wilson and Bill Parsons, who had a great qualifying run. Row 9, it's Chad Little from Washington, Alabama's Hutch Strickland. Row 10, Texas' Terry Labonte and Brett Bodine from New York. In row 11, it's Dick Trickle from Wisconsin and Colorado's Wally Dallenbach Jr. Row 12, Mark Martin from Arkansas and the rookie Kenny Wallace. Rookie Bobby Labonte starts inside row 13 and the 89 champion Darrell Waltrip on the outside. For row 14, it's Bobby Hamilton and Michael Waltrip. Row 15, Jimmy Horton and Jimmy Spencer. Everybody has a workout area at home. Take a look at Jimmy's. Twisted Jimmy. Jimmy Spencer. Row 16 is Rick Mass, and driving for the Wood brothers, Morgan Shepherd. In row 17, Ted Musgrave, what an outstanding sophomore, and Rusty Wallace, the 89 Winston Cup champion. Row 18, Derek Cope. He won this race back in 1990, but he wanted a career in baseball. A knee injury put him into auto racing, and what a Cinderella story. Alongside is Joe Ruttman. For row 19, Harry Gant, the old-timers there, and Jimmy Hensley driving the Jimmy Means car. In row 20, Jim Sauter from Wisconsin, and from New Mexico, Al Unser Jr. My, what an impression he made on the wall in the 125-mile qualifier back on Thursday. And the defending Indy 500 champion will come out fighting. 41st and rounding out the field, making his 26th consecutive start in the 500, Dave Marcus from Wausau, Wisconsin. That's your field for the great American race. From Jeff Bodines, onboard camera, as the field rounds that 31-degree banking. From Rick Wilson in the Petty car. And from Waltrip. 2 other cameras will be in play, 2 other cars in the course of the day. And let's listen as they come down for the start of the 35th annual Daytona 500. We have a race.
I think the key to see is how racy do they want to be early.
Three wide in the backstretch. 21-year-old Jeff Gordon down to the inside, going for the lead at turn 3.
There's Bill Elliott right in behind him. Earlier in the week, they told Jeff Gordon to lay back and learn, but here he comes.
And Kyle Petty didn't want any of that 3 abreast racing. He's back there at 3 abreast, but he backed off going into that turn. Who's going to lead this first lap?
Down the line, lap 1. Gordon from Pittsburgh, Indiana. The kid that blew him away on Thursday comes back and leads the first lap.
What? Dale Jarrett had been strong all week long, and the consensus through the garage this morning was the 18, the 3, and the 15, and that's the 3 cars we're seeing out front.
Here's Mike Joy.
21-year-old Jeff Gordon, starting only his 2nd Winston Cup race, went right to the front on lap 1. Ray Evernham's his team manager. How are you going to keep this kid in check for 200 laps?
I think he'll keep himself in check. He just wanted to see how strong the car was and if he could lead. So now he's led his first Winston Cup lap in official competition. So we're just we really need to finish this race, and we're just gonna let it play out as it comes along. The car feels real good right now, and we'll let him go as he feels comfortable.
Well, there's a reminder for him. If he gets going too fast when he comes into this pit, there's a sign to help him find it. Ray will just drop the hammer on him.
Here's Chris Economaki.
Well, looking at what's happening here, I think the Rookie of the Year contest is already heavily weighted in favor of Jeff Gordon. Only 2 other rookies are challenging, Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte, but the way Gordon has gone, winning on Thursday and now leading this lap, it looks like one award he's almost assured of.
Looked like that was an intentional run to get right up there and show these folks that he was not going to be intimidated by any big names out here today.
It's important for every driver in this field to try to lead a lap in any Winston Cup race they can, because there's a 5-point bonus anytime you lead, and the more times you can do it, well, just that many bonus points adds up during the year.
No rookie has ever led the opening lap of the Daytona 500 until this young man did it today.
Yeah, he's not only a young man, he's a young racer. He gets after that thing. He's won in every type of racing he's been in, and he's ready to go in this.
Through the field up in fifth. We got a smoker, and that
Jimmy
is Hensley
Hensley
getting out of control. The Jimmy Means car sucks the wall.
Boy, what a tough break this crew has had down here. He lost a car in practice earlier in the week, then got involved in a crash not of his own making at the 125-mile qualifying race. And it looked like the engine might have let go, or at least there was smoke as he went into the turn. And here Jimmy Hensley and Jimmy Means' car out of it again here early at the Daytona 500.
Field backing down as they come around to finish.
Yeah, the crew is looking at the replay of the crash. Too bad.
It's a great crew. Great team, and luck has never gone their way here at Daytona. Back in a moment. Start. There's Hensley's car leaving the 500. Darrell Waltrip was running 36 under. Here's your leader, Kyle Petty. Jeff Gordon, a name you're going to hear a lot about for years to come. From Pittsburgh, Indiana, originally out of California. They moved to Indiana when he was just 13. Richard Petty looking on at number 44. Mixed emotions for him today. He's got Rick Wilson out in the race. And he's got Kyle Petty fighting to win this race, his son.
Yeah, Richard Petty, he's been saying he's retiring. Today is the first day that he's officially retired. He's not in that car anymore.
I started to say about this Gordon. They moved over to the Indiana area when he was 13 so he could get into sprint car racing. They wouldn't allow it out in California. He was the national champion, and let's take a look at some telemetry for a moment.
Jeff Bodine's car, you can see his speed getting up to 191 miles an hour down the backstretch in the draft. Those RPMs going up about 6 to 900.
Running in 7th spot. Mike Joy.
Not only that, Ken, but I'm told that Jeff Gordon, Ken Schrader, Ricky Rudd, and Alan, the 4 Rick Hendrick-owned cars, by changing the channel on their two-way radio, not only can they talk to their pits, they can talk to each other.
Gotta have teamwork.
Yep.
The number 12, the Bobby Allison car, running behind them in 15th.
There's a change for the lead. Schrader's around Earnhardt. There comes Ernie Irvan in the 4 car. They made the shuffle off turn 2 and they cleared Earnhardt.
And Kulwicki trying to push the Ford up to its highest spot thus far under green. Here comes Alan Kulwicki down on the inside, working Jeff Gordon on the outside of the 24.
Kulwicki was very strong in practice here yesterday afternoon and turning some of the better laps.
Take a look at Alan Kulwicki. Ernie Irvan has this view. Whoa.
Well, look how close they're getting there, Ned.
They get awfully close. Too close for comfort.
Bobbing, weaving, now pulling away. Was that a cushion of air we saw right there?
That's exactly what it was. There was a little bit of a vacuum there.
Just behind him is pole sitter Kyle Petty. Jeff Gordon looking at it there, running. He and Earnhardt in a skirmish up in front with Ernie Irvan right behind them. As you look again at Jeff Gordon closing in, he'll be a factor before this day is over.
I'm sitting here with Jimmy Hensley. You hear me, Jimmy?
I hear you pretty good.
Why are you here? Why not you out on the track?
Well, we had a little problem. I think we cut a left rear tire down. We thought the motor, everybody thought the motor blew because a lot of smoke, but I think the left rear tire cut down and caused me a spin going in turn 1. You know, got the wall pretty hard. I hate it for Jimmy Means. You know, he got hurt Wednesday in practice, and he gave me an opportunity to drive his car, and I hate it for NASCAR auto parts that first race, but you know, we're just hanging on to the lead draft, you know, just running pretty decent. But
Jimmy, we've seen cars hit the wall 100 times. What is it like in the cockpit when one of those things backs into the wall and comes to a sudden stop on the part of the driver?
It's a pretty good joke. You know, like falling off a 2-story building on your back or something. It's a pretty hard hit. But, you know, fortunately, I didn't get hurt. You know, I got hurt here last year, but this particular time, you know, everything's intact and just bruised up a little, but I'm fine.
Now, you've been watching the race today. How do you think it's going? You got any ideas on who might wind up winners?
I tell you, the lead draft looked like that black car's still running pretty good. He's won about everything down here this week. He's going to be pretty tough, I think, today.
Thank you for coming by, Jimmy Hensley. Better luck next time. And now, back topside to Ken Squire.
That's what they wanted to do, especially if they run under green flag conditions, be able to run at least half of the race on left side tire, change the right side every time.
Elliott on pit road. Bill Elliott brings number 11 in.
And some smoke coming out the exhaust pipe on that car.
Yeah, he's got a problem there with that right side engine. Looks like he's dropped a cylinder. It might be a valve or something, but they've got a problem.
Stop just past him. Mark Martin is getting also 4 tires. Right behind, Jeff Gordon has brought his car into the pits. Sideways pit entry here, and he will get just right side tires. Second can of gas up and going in. A little early getting that first can out. They may not get quite a full load of fuel for Gordon here. A little trouble pulling the fender away on the right front. He ran over a little piece of debris there with that spoiler. They've got him down and away. Not a terribly quick stop, but it shouldn't hurt him too badly.
Here's Chris Economaki with a very unhappy driver. Disappointed driver, probably better put. Chris?
Oh, Bill Elliott, it's sad to see you sitting here. We know you had an engine problem. Was this something that is a continuation of what happened in the clash?
No, by no means. The clash was just an oil overfilling problem. You know, today we were just kind of running along there trying to bide our time. When a Budweiser car, you know, was running awful well, and, you know, all of a sudden, the car felt like it slowed down up off turn 4, and I looked up and it was running like 245 water temperature, and that was it for us.
How do you see the race, Bill, the way it's going here? You got any eye on somebody that might win it?
Well, you know, there's several cars in that bunch running well, and I was just trying to bide my time there. It seemed like my car worked awful well, and it, you know, it was, I don't know if I could ever lead the race, but I could have been right in there with a hunt of them. But, you know, there's several good cars left there, and it'll be interesting to see.
Thank you for coming by. Better luck next time.
Thank you, sir.
Watch this.
You know, Ned, they said earlier that Gordon hit something on pit road and messed up the spoiler on that car, the front air dam. They must have fixed it. It won't affect it so much in the draft here, but the question will be, can he lead if he jumps out there?
Jeff Gordon has said, I was racing sprint cars, and those are mean race cars. I was racing sprint cars before I had a driver's license. You learn well in those open cockpit cars, and right now he's running second. We'll be back for the finale of our live exclusive coverage of the Daytona 500 on CBS Sports after this message and a word from your local station.
Well, look what's on TV here at the Hendrick house. Rick, what'd your wife give you for Valentine's Day here?
We got 4 TVs and we put them in each pit, and I couldn't run up and down this pit road all day, so I get to watch a little TV while they're racing.
That's because he's got 4 cars in the race. If 21-year-old Jeff Gordon, in only his second Winston Cup start, can win racing's biggest prize, is everybody else here going to start to feel real old?
Well, you know, when I met Jeff and looked at him, and he was about the age of my daughter, it really kind of dawned on me how young he really is. But he's done a heck of a job. If we finish second to Earnhardt, I'm still awful proud of him. You know, he's done a heck of a job today. The whole crew has.
Let's see how it goes.
Hendrick won the 89 500, the Waltrip in 86. Hendrick won with Bodine.
I'm standing with the most and the least experienced drivers to almost win the 500. First, the voice of experience, Dale Earnhardt, the last couple of laps.
Just got out drafted, really. Our car was a little loose, and Dale's car was really fast. I think he had the fastest engine or fastest car down the straightaway there. And he got a little loose and got back in the pack a little bit, and then he started working his way back up. And I thought Jeff and I could hang on there and just keep drafting and be okay. And then he really got to plugging on Jeff and got under Jeff. And when he got under Jeff, he got into me and got me loose. Dale got under me and made me loose. So, you know, he got by me, and then it was me and Jeff on the outside, and Dale Jarrett and Jeff Bodine on the inside. So it was just a tussle, see who could get there.
Well, there's next year. The man in black will be back. How about the kid who almost won? If you'd won this, you would have made a lot of guys here feel real old in a hurry.
Well, you know, we all we wanted to do was come away today with one piece, and we did that. And we come away with a whole lot more. But you know, it was the most exciting thing in my life to be there riding with Dale Earnhardt. I knew he was loose. I think we might have been able to do a little bit more if he wasn't as loose, because I could have drafted a little bit better with him. But he knew he was loose, and I kept having to pull back a little bit in the corners. I knew Jarrett was going to be there. I I didn't know which way it was going to go. I wanted to go, but I wanted to go 2 to go, and I want me to be leading and him to go. I knew that if I pulled out of line, everybody's going with Dale. I mean, you know that's going to happen, and I just, I took my chances to stay in line.
Great job, a great finish.
Thank you.
Here is Chris Economaki.
Oh, I'm right here. Joe, this is the Super Bowl of stock car racing. I just got drenched with that Gatorade they aimed at you. What's it feel like?
I'll tell you, it's the same thrill. I can't take as much credit for this one because I was just really praying on the sidelines. Jimmy and Dale did a great job with the crew. I have so many people to thank, though. Don Meredith for helping me through all this and put all this together, my good friend. Jimmy Johnson over at Hendrick Motorsports and Rick Hendricks. Chevy, big thing, Interstate. Shell, all those guys, and Food Line help us put it together. That's exactly what it is. And putting it all together I really picked Jimmy and Dale, and the rest of it I got to give credit to everybody else. And I just want to thank the Lord for giving me this kind of a second great thrill of my life, a Super Bowl, and now the Super Bowl of stock car racing.
And let's take a look at the final results on the Daytona 500. Dale Jarrett wins his second Winston Cup race and winning the biggest race of them all. Dale Earnhardt will have to go to 16 before he tries again to win this race. Taking a look at more of the finishing order here today, it was Terry Labonte back in 11th. Ted Musgrave had a very good run in 15th. Looking further back in the field, Michael Waltrip finally wound up in 16th today. Harry Gant never came up to speed for Harry. He had some hard running to do. And as we look further back in the field, you see that Jimmy Horton had himself a 25th spot, a young man from New Jersey. Alan Kulwicki wound up 26.
Davey Allison, last year's winner, 28.
Yep. So out of the field that started, we had 32 running when we came down to the finish today. That's an incredible number as well.